So you graduate after 3 months of going through that, and they send you to Paris Island.
Well, we're already at Paris Island. So
Oh,
the schools,
okay.
the DI schools are normally on. So like even during DI school, we have this thing called observation. And after the pandemic, I think they just started doing it again. So observation is when you're in school, but you get to train with the recruits. So you'll be with the drill instructors. So you get like a chance to kind of see what you're about to get into.
Because at this point, you haven't seen drill instructors in what, 3 to 5 years?
I mean, we see them, but you don't get to feel what it's like.
Well, you're not in the environment with
Yeah.
drill instructors.
Yeah.
Because how long have you been in now?
It'll be 7 years in November.
Jesus Christ.
I know, dude.
7 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been in 7 years,
Yeah.
and how long in were you before you became a DI?
4.
4 years? Okay.
Yeah, it was my reenlistment incentive. So when I reenlisted, that was my incentive, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you finish up the course, and you get sent to your first class.
Yeah, so like normally you'll get 30 days of leave, but my class, the COVID hit right at the end of my course. So they sent us straight to work because we couldn't get leave because we couldn't leave the state.
Because
So
of lockdown.
I didn't
right.
even get like that 30 days because like normally you get 30 days of leave to like see your family or get everything ready,
Like
like prepare
decompress a little
yourself.
bit.
Yeah, and we went straight to work.
So what part of 2020 is this happening?
I graduated in March. It's like right when everything happened.
When everything
Yeah.
hit the fan.
Yeah, so graduated in March. My first cycle was probably April. So I went like straight, like we did get a break. Like we got 2 weeks of leave, but it was like in-state leave and we couldn't really do anything. So I was like, finding an apartment and all that other shit.
Yeah.
And then I picked up my first cycle, I think in April. Maybe, what's after April?
May.
May. Yeah, sorry. Fuck. Like May or April is when I first picked up like my first cycle.
Damn. Okay. So what do you think, like, because obviously I'd like to know like what the days are like, but as far as like differences between like how businesses ran before and now businesses is being ran because of COVID. Mm-hmm. What kind of restrictions were put on you guys?
I mean, we had the masks. We had to wear masks the whole time. Keep that 6 foot so we couldn't get close to the recruits.
So you had to like stare directly at the dude you're yelling at, but like
Yeah.
get 6 feet past.
Yeah,
him.
so we had our
You
6 feet
motherfucker.
difference. So it kind of helped us scream a little louder. We had temperature checks, like, cause this was when like everything first happened. Like in my first cycle, we got hit with COVID. Like we quarantined our whole fucking company,
Right.
And like I got COVID and all this other shit. But they had like temperature checks, every night, like twice a day, 3 times a day. The recruits get temperature checks. The drill instructors get temperature checks. Wear our masks. Fucking. That's pretty much it. We
Was any training kind of put on hold or like?
It was just changed. So like we did like McMAP, which is like Marine Corps Martial Arts program. So like they couldn't do certain things, or like the buddy that the recruit had for PTs, like that was your buddy that you had the whole time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
but
how
yeah.
was the living quarters changed? Because like the
We had less recruits.
interesting. So they just
And they
shortened
just
the
stayed.
classes.
So the racks were like separated by
right.
like 6 feet.
Right.
So the racks were separated, and we had less recruits in the squad base. So we got bigger squad base. Well, not bigger squad base, but they just kind of decreased. So when COVID was ending, we had like an influx of fucking recruits. Like now we have bigger herds and more cycles and more cycles and more cycles.
I was just thinking like that's got to be one of the hardest things to mitigate in that environment.
Oh,
Because like motherfuckers are together. Like
Yeah,
they-
and what sucks is like in San Diego, they didn't have as many COVID issues because they could just open the windows and have like fresh air and shit. Like us, like it's humid as fuck. So like it's just a bad environment, and like our AC sometimes would go out because the buildings suck. So like because you're in like this muggy environment, of course, like fucking
everyone's
bacteria spreads.
Yeah.
So like we did everything we could, like made sure they obviously hygiene and all that stuff. Like we would clean everything all the time, have the recruits fucking spray down everything like all the time. But I mean, there's only so much you can do.
Right. It's just, I'd imagine it just gets to a point where it's like, yes, I mean, make sure people don't get sick in general. Like
Yeah.
hygiene is important in
Well,
general.
I will say, so like there used to be this thing called recruit crud, is what we call it. Like when drill instructors get, and like you just get sick. Like I got sick when I was a recruit because you're in this environment with like all these different people and training and stuff. Because of all the COVID mitigations, they like just getting sick in general. Like less recruits are getting sick nowadays, and like because COVID's over or kind of over, We still have our like mitigations, I guess. We still have masks or whatever. We don't do temperature checks as much. We still keep our distance or whatever. But because we're putting in place, we're taking more approach on like making sure they stay cleaner. I guess it's recruit training. You're not going to be very clean the whole time.
And not only that, but I mean, you're getting, because how many, in one class of recruits, how many do you have?
Depends on what company, but I know I was in Papa Company, which was the first integrated company in 4th Battalion. So we have males and females.
Yeah.
We had 80 girls.
80 females.
Mm-hmm.
How many total?
Like in the whole company?
Yeah.
Like, shit. Lead and follow. Maybe like 500.
Jesus Christ.
Kids. Yeah.
500?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you've got 500 people coming from all parts of the country.
Yeah, and like even in the world too, because we have all our kids from like outside the country.
Right. So, like, you're bringing all this kind of bacteria anyway.
Yeah.
So people are going to get all fucked up no matter what. So like, they learn how to sweep and mop and disinfect really fucking well.
You learn how to clean and recruit training. For sure.
That's funny. So like, you were saying how like the martial arts portion, your combatives portion had to get altered.
Mm-hmm. Like we couldn't do certain things. So like pugil sticks or like the things you see on like the videos when they're like doing pugil sticks or
giant
fighting.
like cotton swab looking things.
Yeah. Like we couldn't do that because obviously they have to wear the pads and shit. So now like they disinfect them before they put them on the recruits.
You should probably do that anyway.
Yeah, they did, but they just do it like before during COVID, it was like take it off one kid, put it on the other kid,
right?
Like, keep moving, you know. So now it's like you fucking wipe it down before you put it on the next kid. So
you get what you probably should have been doing anyway. That's funny.